Hey guys, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, I am going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, because this is by far the best expansion. Let's start talking about it. So, the first thing you're going to notice is the music. It's not super obvious right away, but in my mind, it sounds so much like what we had in Nier Automata. It's clear to me that whatever they did, they definitely got a lot of inspiration from Nier Automata, which is amazing. Next thing I want to talk about is the trust system. The trust system is absolutely one of the best systems that they've ever created. This is the only issue that I see with it is you have to actually go to where the dungeon starts in order to activate this the trust system for the very first time. What do I mean by this? Here, if I go into the trust system in here, you'll notice that the only two that I can activate right now are Don Meg and Pokemon Switch. Both of these are it's helpful to be able to go back into them, but I wish that they would actually allow us to activate them like we can with the duties, because all I have to do for a duty is press U, go to my dungeons, and whoop, there it is. I can now do the dungeon if I want, but I'm not going to. And it's a similar process with almost everything with this game. But I don't know. Now I do have other issues with this game, but I'll get to those in a little bit. The next really good thing, though, is the whole world. You can just see all of the detail just as you're running through whatever areas, just how beautiful this place is. You get these absolutely stunning areas with probably the best towns that I've ever seen, at least in Final Fantasy XIV. That it really feels like they just took their time and actually thought, hey, how would this world turn out in this specific situation? Like, just as an example, this group of bunny people made tree houses because of the fact that it was like their only option. And each of these other locations, you can see the hard work and effort that the team put into to just make these worlds feel amazing. I will say, though, that I do wish that there was some better lighting, though. You don't really notice it as much in this specific case, but in certain areas, it's either really bright and sunny, or it's dark all the frickin' time. And it's not necessarily the fault of the creators, because they just, well, it is, but they designed it in a way that if you want to explore the world, you're going to be seeing right when you come into the worlds, you get plenty of light because of the fact that they designed it so that the world is filled with light and there's no way about it. But then you play, once you've saved the world, it's always nighttime. Like, there are certain duties where it is daytime, I will admit that. There are definitely a few. But I've never once seen at any point it be dark. It be light any place that after I've saved the area, except for, of course, in duties. So I do have to ask, why? The lighting isn't a huge issue, but as we can see here, because there's no sunlight here, there's like a little bit here, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is in some of the areas where it's just pitch black. Like, the main city, I don't even want to be in the Crystarium anymore because it's too freaking dark. But, I don't know, that's my issue. The story, however, is fantastic. I will say that I will stand by the fact that the story has gotten better and better each expansion. With the first expansion, it's slow, it's repetitive, it's just too much traveling between the different areas and stuff. Heaven's Ward, again, too frickin' tedious and stuff. The story was better, but it wasn't like, oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? And then, Stormblood, it was a lot better. There's no real, there's an urgency to everything that's going on. You're at war. You gotta make sure that you get this stuff done quickly. And the same can be said for Shadowbringers. But the issue with Stormblood wasn't that, but rather the fact that you were on two very opposite sides of the world. Rauger's Reach, which is one of the main cities, you have to spend 999 gil to go between it and Kugane, or really any location in these two areas. Like, if you're in the east, and you need to go to the other side, you gotta spend you have to spend the full amount just to get there. And even if you teleport to a cheaper location, it's still that expensive just to get to any location. It's still 999 just to get to these locations. It's kind of absurd. And you could say the same about here, but it's not as big of an issue, I've noticed. So, yeah. I will admit that I didn't get the Authenticator until this expansion because I didn't really see much point in it. But now it's kind of absurd how much you actually need it. So, yeah. If you're gonna be spending a lot of time in these areas, definitely think about if you're gonna be playing this game now. I really do recommend just having the Authenticator because it will save you a lot of time. Now, the next complaint I have is actually not much of a complaint. I understand why they do this, but for some reason it takes forever to log in. If it's at any point during the day in your specific region. Specifically, around the ends of the day when people are getting off of work, or when people are, or early in the morning when people are about to head off to work. Those are big points, and also in the middle of the day when people are at lunch. It's insane. There's like, why are you guys getting on for probably just a few minutes? You're basically just saying hi to your group. You might be able to get like a guild heist in or a normal raid, but you're not getting anything else done. I really think that they need to improve that system. It's not a huge issue, but it can definitely be improved upon. On top of, but let's get on to some good things. Luckily, there is a lot more references to the other Final Fantasies in this, well, expansion. There's a whole, there's tons of stuff that is referencing Final Fantasy IX, which leads me to think that this is the same world as Final Fantasy IX. Fight me. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to really know for a fact. Is this the same world? Maybe not. But I think that it is. There's obviously going to be more references as we do more of the side quests, but it's a good thing to finally have the main story quest have more references. Previous expansions, maybe there was one or two references to other Final Fantasies, but the majority of the references, like Gilgamesh and Vivi, those two weren't even in the main story quest. Those two were in the Hildebrand story quest, which, unless you're really seeking out to do it, there's not much point to do it. If you've done it before, then absolutely you want to do it, but otherwise you're just gonna be like, I don't care. If you basically all you're getting through that is a few pets and a few dances. That's it. But luckily we have now all of this stuff, so I'm glad that we're getting as many references as we are now. But yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments what your favorite part about Shadowbringers is. And also, let me know if you guys want to see more Final Fantasy content on this channel. I know that I promised to do some more stuff on my Twitch, which I haven't yet because I'm lazy. But yeah, I might continue, but I need to know that you guys are actually interested in this stuff. If you guys leave a like, then it will also help me to know that, yeah, this is stuff that you guys want. And also, if you guys are new here, then absolutely subscribe and ring that notification bell, because it means that we're one step closer to reaching 100 subscribers, which will be the next big milestone video. Well, besides, of course, the 4-year anniversary, which will be in 3 days. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys in the next video. But on.